What's up, guys? Here with JD, our cameraman Angelo. All right, back behind the scenes. So, just really quick, I think, kind of our first trial run at this, right? So bear with us. Gonna show you something that I like to do, kind of in college. So, whether you're looking for kind of a new way to set up an attack, a different way to kind of get to your finishes, or if you're just 5'4" and stop going like I did, and you need a good way to, reach a leg, another good way to do it. And so, like I said, we're going to go over a couple of different ways, a couple of different finishes, or setups. Like I said, it's going to be a little bit traditional. Then you think of ankle pick, you think of David Taylor, Cale Sanderson, all these people that are pretty long, really effective with the move. Kind of synonymous like JB in a double leg, right? So you're always thinking about controlling the wrist and getting these big pulls and stepping to things. But the thing that gets challenging in wrestling, just like with anything else, people can kind of start to understand what you're good at, right? Understand what you're looking for, and they might not give you the step, that you're looking for to set up that pick. Okay, so we're always trying to disguise things or have setups to our setups, at the college level. And so like what we're gonna do first, okay, and one really big thing to focus on is this is always gonna come out of like an inside tie, okay? So, I'm not a great wrestler from space, I never have been, but, I can hand fight pretty well, okay? So a lot of this stuff is gonna come from this guy and our opponent kind of bracing for the impact, bracing for a hand fight and get him reacting. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do to get comfortable before we do anything else is just get comfortable kind of with an inside tie and how to pull, okay? So however you like to set it up, for us, we've been really working, kind of our shot clubs and just getting the foot heavy. So when I'm talking about a shock and a club, opposite hand, opposite foot, right? Shocking in with my forearm. Okay, then I just want to get a really good pull right out of my first touch. And I always want to make sure that I'm moving forward, all right? So always shocking, clubbing, right? And like I said, I'm following that up, moving forward, right? With the post and with the pull, okay? And like any other wrestler, good wrestling coach will tell you, always pulling with our hips, okay? So when I'm finding these pulls, and if you're working on this at home and you want to find a partner, okay, you're always going to pull with your outside foot. So if I'm going to pull, right, my left leg forward, we don't want to do a whole lot of bending, and we don't want to do a whole lot of helicopter stuff. And one thing that we really want to focus on is not affecting our level, okay? Just because I'm going to pull doesn't mean I want to stand straight up. You'll see a lot of people kind of trying to short arm things, do everything just, trying to be really strong or push and break in position, okay? So what I'm talking about with pulling with our outside leg, after I make a great first touch, moving forward, shot, club, like I said, I'm centered, I'm posted. If you know how to run the pipe, gonna be a very similar motion, okay? Posting, pulling with this foot, right? If I want to set out. All right, same token, if I'm going back to the far side, inside foot, near foot's posted, okay? This foot's pulled, right? With my hip level staying nice and changed, okay? So I'm staying down. Like I said, when I'm talking about checking my level, right, I don't want to be up here, right? Because it's head, hands, hips, and I don't want to have to shoot through all this stuff on the back end, okay? So if you're with the partner, kind of numbering off of 1 and 2, making a great first touch, okay? Opposite hand, opposite foot, right? I don't want to reach here, right? Get 8 up. JD would never score on me anyways, but it doesn't matter, right? I don't want to give him a chance. All right, opposite hand, opposite foot. Shot club moving forward, pull. Right, easing back into it each time, getting really comfortable winning inside, pulling with your hips. Like I said, setting your feet, right? We don't want to take a lot of baby steps. We don't want to cross our feet, right? I want to be ready to be active and be ready to go. So when I get the reaction I want here, I can fall right off into my attack, okay? That can't happen if I'm creating distance on my own, separating off my ties. I need to be kind of crowding going forward. All right, so let's start there first and check back in. All right, if you're feeling comfortable there, kind of with step 1, great. Okay, and that's where the next kind of phase of our move is going to come from. And this is going to happen in a couple different ways. And I'm going to clip in some examples, from my competitive career, kind of where this move worked out for me. Okay, but with this steering wheel, it's the simplest thing that we know how to do. All right, so if you remember, I started wrestling when I was 5 years old. Every action gets a reaction, right? So when we're 5, you barely know how to put your shoes on. So, if you're posting, you're getting heavy on my head, push it down and it's gonna pop up, okay? So it's gonna be a very similar concept, okay, when we're trying to win inside here. So when I'm affecting this position when I'm using my steering wheel, right? You hear how heavy this foot is, right? So if I switch my hands, you see the position that it's in, right? So like I said, inside tie, club, okay? And I'm always here, right? Like I said, right underneath that armpit, getting a lot of leverage, right? Just trying to pinch, all right? So when this is happening and I shift back to this way, you're gonna get a guy, and a lot of your opponents, right? They're gonna brace for the same thing coming back to this far side. Okay, so when I'm in here, right, heavy, I shift back. So if you want to come over here with your camera, when I shift my hands, you're going to get a guy that kind of squeezes up and just kind of locks on, right? And so that's kind of right what we're looking at, okay? So we're anticipating him bracing for this. And so instead of, kind of telegraphing it, right, looking right at it and trying to pull, all right, come here and diving at it, okay, that's all we're doing. All right, so we're anticipating, right, that being heavy. And all I'm doing is kind of just slide right down, right, his wrist, and then just drop it right in his shoe, okay? And my knee, all right, I'm trying to land right outside of the toe, or right outside of the shoe there, okay? So the nice thing about that is all it's gonna look like is it's not a penetration, it's not a push, not forcing anything, I'm just sliding and dropping right off onto it. All right, so I'm taking everything right to the mat, okay? So when that happens, right, there's a couple things and a couple mistakes that a lot of people tend to make. You'll see people get in trouble here, trying to shoot out a far leg, being really stubborn about this head. You're like, all right, no, you're coming down here, this is an ankle pick. Like, you're making me look dumb. Whatever it is, okay? So those are all mistakes that we don't want to make, and that's the reason we're going to work on a couple different finishes. But for right now, okay, without movement, just so we can kind of get the hang of like this step, a lot of times, you're so used to, if we're attacking on this side, we're taking a penetration step to a high C, to a double. Okay, this is just going to be a knee drop to the outside. Okay, so I don't need another penetration step. If I'm at this angle, I don't want to shoot across his body because then I'm just getting passed. Right, really simple, throw by. Okay, I'm just going to drop and just kind of keep everything tight with me. Okay, so we're starting collar tie, inside tie, as if I just done my steering wheel. And all we're going to do is just start here. Okay, we're going to slide off to the wrist, knee goes to the toe. And like I said, all I'm doing is just bringing this head down with me, right? Knee drops right on my toe. Boom, and I'm trying to get right to my pick. Okay, so we're gonna try to start really easy with the pick before we get into our motion. So like I said, switching your hand position and just dropping right down. All right, and like I said, we'll start to chain it all together. All right, but that's gonna be step one, all right, of the plan. All right, let's go see that. All right, cool. So, the reason we don't want to put a lot of motion into this is because, when we've worked on this in our college room, sometimes, like with these steering wheels and with, like getting active with our hands, active with our feet, crowding space, like if we're saying we're working on an ankle pick for sure, we're really, like I said, we get stubborn about it. And so even if this is like, really far away or our timing's off, we're shooting at a back leg or we're trying to shoot through a head or a hand defense that's not quite there. Okay, so the nice thing about this is it's pretty non-committal. Okay, so I should never find myself diving, right, at a leg. Say at the worst, right, I'm just changing my level and crowding right back into them, and it all comes back to my hand fight, okay? So now that you've gotten kind of comfortable, kind of switching off, okay, sliding down to this wrist, just try to put these two things together now, okay? So you're still gonna go make a great first touch, right? Get a big pull, right? Crowd into a big pull, right? Sweating off. Okay, that's all we're doing right now, okay? So like I said, you're gonna steering wheel, right, to your right side, all right? And we'll slow it down, so I'm gonna steering wheel, pull, and on this switch, right, all I'm gonna do is I don't need to pull again. I don't wanna get this any closer. All I'm doing is just shifting my weight. Off of my pull, shifting right back down, right to this ankle, okay? And I don't have to leave my hand up here. I'm not trying to pull everything down. I'm just staying tight, okay? So like I said, pull, shift. Okay, shift to the wrist, slide to the ankle, bump to the pick. All right, so that's gonna be your very basic one, okay, and hopefully that works, all right? And we can do this in a number of different ways, okay? So if somebody's tied up with you and they're playing handsy, right, all this stuff, I can drop right down, right off to that pick. Or if you got one of those guys that's just squared off and being really stubborn and kind of staring at you, right, I can just go make that entry. I can club pick, and I'm always gonna get a reaction. You might not get that clean. We're gonna get into a couple other finishes based on his reaction next, all right? So like I said, pull, shift, pick, okay? Like I said, you can see where my feet are, right? I'm not really spread out. I'm not covering. I'm here because I want to be explosive, right? I want to be able to cover his hip or shift to my next finish. whatever that might be. All right, so we'll start there, move on to the next one in a second. Good? All right, a couple things to keep in mind, right? Like my co-workers here are reminding me, okay? This isn't gonna happen if I let this guy kind of hang inside. I can't just drop down, reach all this stuff, so this is coming off of me being active in my hand fight, okay? And then one of the most common mistakes that's made, like you brought up to me here, is just because it's a pick and what we talked about earlier, is if this head doesn't come with me, I'm not gonna be super strong here, right? Like, so I'm not all of a sudden gonna be like, you know what, like I'm gonna pull this down, right? I'm in trouble here, okay? So logically, next best thing is though, right? I've beat his level, okay? So I'm just gonna let that thing slip, right? I beat everything else, right? So I don't need to bring that down to my level. Okay, so we're gonna set everything up the same way. And these, like I said, easiest way to kind of learn this is just sliding down from an inside tie, okay? So like I said, I'm gonna get my motion, I'm gonna slip, but this head is gonna pop up. And you kind of just see naturally already where I'm at, okay? I'm kind of right into a double leg motion. So that's what we're gonna do, okay? I've still anchored up the leg, and I'm just gonna pull myself in to the hips, okay? Don't try to finish on your knees, all right? You can go to a high C, you can go to a crackdown, you can pull into a couple of attacks that I'll clip from here, but I do like I said, I'm just pulling here, and popping up into a double, okay? We never wanna rest on our knees, that's where we're gonna get in trouble. So for the sake of learning this, all you're gonna do is just pull into a double. So like I said, same setup, head slips, okay? Run your feet, drive. Okay, right into the double. All right, for the sake of working on a couple different things, I'm old, and I was a crackdown high C guy anyways, so you can kind of find a couple different high C finishes too, right? So set it up the same way, head slip, right into a high C, all right? Crackdown position, or here, head slips, high C, high C. Score some points, okay? Don't bring the head with you, let the head slip, find the hips, score some points. All right, let's go try it out. All right, hopefully you're getting the hang of that, all right? This time, maybe we've wrestled this guy before, maybe he understands this is something that we're gonna look for, all right? So he's kind of looking out for this pick. So, next logical thing, right? I take the penetration, try to get that pick, he takes it away, okay? Like I said, everything's about being explosive off of this drop, okay? So that's why I'm not trying to take this big step, not getting really extended, I'm not dropping all the way back, right? Like I said, I'm just like in the crowd and I'm here, so I'm able to react, okay? So regardless of my finish, okay, whether it's any one of these four finishes, okay, so whether it's my pick, I'm already going forward, whether it's the head slipping, I'm going forward, all right, or whether it's the one we're gonna work on now, okay, who pulls this foot back? All right, all I'm gonna do is come up and cover the head, okay? So like I said, I've kept this here, like I said, same way that I've just kind of run through a blast double, I'm just covered, okay? And there's a lot of different offense from here, okay? You guys can ultimately go do whatever the heck you want, all right? But just getting comfortable in your short offense, all right? So like I said, it's gonna be another stubborn thing where I don't want to chase something that's not there, okay? So that back leg's gone, I'm gonna get to the next best thing. So like I said, move, foot goes away, cover in front head, like I said, snap, or however it is that you want to do, all right? So you'll be really effective. Goes back to this like really high percentage stuff, okay? So I'm not getting sprawled on, I'm not taking a bad shot, and I'm in a dominant position. All right, so head goes away. So like I said, pull. Inside tie, slide down, foot pulls back. Be a good partner, like I said, for these reactions, okay? I've already covered the head, and I'm just slipping over the top. All right, and like I said, from here I can get my pulls, get back to the pick. All right, I can kind of take it out, attack far side, spin, go behind. Whatever it is that you want, right? Anything out of your front head stuff, right? So like I said, that's where you kind of go freestyle a little bit. Whatever you're good at, just another really safe but effective way, all right, to get to a front head. All right, one more finish after this, All right, then you guys are gonna be good to go. Getting progressively sweatier as this video goes on. You know, like I said, it's hot up here. But because this move is coming out of a club, right? You know, we're working on this kind of steering wheel concept, just, you know, for him to brace, for us to get comfortable, because this is gonna happen organically, right? So this might not always come from a steering wheel, right? It could always come off of an elbow pass, right? I'm taking this hand away and I just drop into something, okay? So it could be any kind of setup that you really like. Like I said, it could be even him being stationary and I'm just trying to, you know, be a can opener and open somebody up that's really, really hard to score on. My coach, you know, in college, credit to him, he just said, you know, when I start an attack, one way or another, there's gonna be points, right? Mine are his. Doesn't mean I'm making a lot of dumb decisions, but I'm not gonna be one and done, okay? So there's always a great way for me to initiate my offense, start a sequence that allowed me to go score some points, all right? But because this is a club, sometimes we'll get to this other reaction where I'm pushing things away, and it kind of turns and opens the window of his hips out, okay? So like, let's say, right, you know, I'm doing a great job. I get to my club, but these hips move, right? So the head kind of slips, right? That foot goes back, and this goes back to that thing where we're saying, I don't want to chase this head, and I don't want to chase what's furthest away, right? Another reason that I want to stay explosive, right, is at the center of my attack here. All I'm going to do is just slip off, right into kind of a single, right? So like I said, I'm just slipping off this pressure. It's a timing thing, right? But once everything, so bring it back here. So like I said, once everything kind of slips away, it pull me right into a single leg. And I am that good. I can fit. No, I'm just kidding. But like I said, don't want to finish on your knees. Don't draft leg it. You know, you can bring it up. You know, kind of finish shoulder deep, whatever it is that you need to do. But like I said, if these hips open up, right? Don't be stubborn. Don't chase. Take the nearest thing to you, right? So great first touch. Pull right after. Okay. So like I said, it's not an extra step. I'm not resetting. I'm not making a decision on my knees, right? It's just one of those things. It's so easy, guys, once you get the hang of it. Like, the setup's the most important part. Everything's close, everything's tight. When I'm here, like I said, if the head pops, I'm one step away from a double leg, right? If this foot slips back, one step away from a front headlock. If everything moves, one step away from a single leg. Okay, nothing changes in the beginning. It's all off his reaction, okay? And like I said, that's why we're just opening him up, creating offense, okay? So once again, like I said, get my motion, everything moves or opens up, hips open. So like I said, instead of keeping this hand here, I'm just slipping it off, going right into my single leg, you know, finding the finish, right? That's another series, single leg finishes, right? You know, request it, help you find a couple good ways. So to quickly review, right? You have 4 options, okay? Real quick, getting moving, regular pick, cover the hips. If you're in the freestyle season, easy lace, easy money, right? All right, next one, head slips, pulling out double leg, head slips one more time, you can high C, right, easy money, all right, this time foot goes back. Like I said, all I want to do is crowd, take space, find an easy angle, okay? This time, everything opens up, hips open up. All right, right into the single, up to your feet. All right, those are gonna be our 4 options right now. And we're gonna come back with a quick Q&A with these guys, maybe what they struggled to learn a little bit at first too. Hey, real quick, a couple of cleanup things. So, you might not be an inside tie type of guy. Like I said, it's got to happen organically. And this partner is very important, okay? So make sure that you find somebody. You're gonna go just spar this out, okay? Because I don't want to be so methodical, you know, kind of, like I said, locked in any one thing. But so when I go back and watch, and you look at some of these clips, all I need is for this guy, however it needs to happen. So whether like, you know, I'm in here fighting hands, whether I take this hand off and he wants to like roll it out and club me again, right here, this reach right here, right? That's the pressure that I'm releasing off of. So however I can create it, okay? Easy way for us to train it is when I'm here and I shift back inside, he's gonna latch back on, right? He's trying to get safe. So that's that big reach that I'm talking about, okay? But sometimes I might just roll the wrist down, right? I might pass this off. Then when he like brings it back on, then I'm gone, right? So I'm just catching that thing coming on right when he wants to kind of brace, get strong, lock in, okay? So if you're an elbow pass person, create motion, You get somebody like weight out over the top and they're kind of reaching, right? Clinging back on. That's the pressure that I'm releasing off of, okay? Like I said, feel free to reach out with any more questions, but that can come from a lot of things, right? Maybe I'm just fighting wrist. Maybe I'm creating space. Okay, maybe I got a loss. Boom, and I'm right back down to the wrist, eating up the ankle, okay? I know that was pretty quick. Well, it felt quick, it probably looked slow as hell, right? But you know what, I'm catching at this wrist, taking it down however that needs to happen. So like I said, easiest one for me, you can kind of tell, kind of just playing short, right? Like I'm like, you know, I went out, right at the wrist. Almost arm drag motion, right into something else, okay? Creating angles, great first touch, right? You're just getting that reaction. Ooh. Big step, big reach, equals ankle pick. All right, and I'll let these guys answer a couple questions that they might have had while they were learning that move. All right, so we're here with JD Perez and Angelo Reyes here. A couple guys that have been in our system for a couple years, you know, had a lot of success. So just gonna kind of let them talk about maybe where they struggled when they were first learning the moves and kind of the things that helped them out.
All right, guys, how's it going? One of the biggest things that I took away from this when I found it challenging was that my footwork, I had bad tendencies to hop, so I would come here to a club and then hop, and I'd be far away from the leg, right? See that here is nothing. Even if he backs up, it's gonna be hard to get that front headlock, get that pull, get up over the top. So one of the biggest things was that when you do follow up here and you come back here, now I'm a lot closer, right? Pulling the wrist down to the ankle. I'm a lot closer, easier to go ahead and find a pick and get to all my finishes. And that's one of the just biggest things for me. Just make sure you're not windmilling and hopping out like that. I know it's kind of like a
natural progression. Like it feels like the
right.
way your momentum's carrying you.
But
So
we want to go ahead and stay tight and compact, like Coach said. So we're here, bring everything down to us, down to the wrist, and then go ahead and go through with that.
Yep.
All right. The biggest thing I had a problem on is the pulls, you know, doing too much in my hand fight. Just thinking like at the same time, right, good club, back into it, right there, not wanting to overdo to it. If I was gonna do just another one right there, I'm still gonna end up a little bit farther. Really just stay precise in your movements and not like.
You were telegraphing it too much, like early on, right? Like you said, you're pulling like right to it, and not trusting enough, right? That it's going to be there. So like like you said, you think just trust was a big part of it?
Yeah, trust and work on that training, you know.
Yeah.
Being able to have a good partner, right? That was the biggest thing. Because if JD wasn't to work with me just right there, he's going too hard. I'm not going to be able to get with it. Or if I come in and he's going right, you know, like I'm not going to be able to get to it either. It's like a good 50-50 look. Just a good look as a whole.
Right, elbows, not tight, flexing. Right?
Yeah.
Like that, that's good.
Yeah,
But,
except
I mean, that's pretty much the problems I had with it. And just if your coach can look at this and you have more questions, you can ask him or you can email Coach Crank.
and I'll give him your guys' phone number. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, like I said, the no bad questions. But yeah, appreciate you guys. So like I said, you know, be a great partner. Like I said, you know, stay tight. You know, work at it. You're probably not going to get it right away. It's going to take some time, but keep chipping away. But all right, thanks, fellas.
Thank you.